Hello and welcome to watching VideoGaming Father's video review of a puzzling adventure game from Icy Lands called Bed of Giants. Will you find an interesting story there explaining what you are doing and why you are doing it? Is the game full of challenging puzzles that will properly tease your brain? Is it just about the puzzle solving or are there many other inventive mechanics enhancing the gameplay? Does the game difficulty make the game suitable for casual gamers and family playing? Will you be struggling more with the game puzzles or with the imprecise controls? Can it last for a long time or is it just fun for 1 or 2 evenings? Let's find it out together within the next few minutes spent with my Bed of Giants video review. Let's traditionally start with the story. The game follows the journey of 3 explorers called Ben, Machi and Dodge on their search for an incredible treasure. The Lantry, a mysterious artifact, is rumored to have been hidden by the old kings behind a series of trials and protected by giants. And anyone who attempts to reach the treasure must overcome these trials in order to prove his worth. The story starts promising, but unfortunately it is not much developed further. There are only a handful of static scenes with occasional text dialogues between the main characters that talk by some pseudo-voice, which means that the dialogues are not really dubbed, but you will hear just incomprehensible mumbling well known from the good old 90s games. Okay, the story is not a part of the game that one would be playing it for, but it's not a crucial part of puzzle games, so let's better take a look at how the game is played. The gameplay is based on a simple principle. Your goal is to get Ben, Machi and Dodge to a wall door at the end of each level. Levels are split into a few sections. In each section you must ensure that each explorer reaches the colored stone which matches the color of his outfit. Now you are probably thinking, haven't I seen something like that before? And you would be right, because this concept is not new. I have reviewed a game called She Remembered Caterpillars based on the same exact concept. It would be a big challenge if there weren't some obstacles and puzzles that you need to solve before reaching the exit. So, what kind of puzzles will you need to solve? Bed of Giants is based on cooperation between your heroes. The main game element is based on climbing up and down the platforms. To do this, another teammate must stay right under the higher spot in order to either give you a boost to get up, or to help you to descend safely while getting back down. Quite often you will see the situation where 1 or even 2 of your explorers have the direct path ahead to the stone matching their color, but a third one cannot make it without their help. So you need to forget about the tempting option to simply click some explorers and lead them to their stones directly, but they need to go through some difficulties first to help their friend. This is something I call great team effort. So, what kind of other obstacles besides platforms are between you and the spots that you need to reach? You will find there are switches that can rotate some platforms to make your explorers access some paths, activating the lifts to reach the high or low places, activating the ladders allowing you to do the same, or even bringing up new platforms that create new paths that were not present before. There is also a rotating glyph consisting of 3 platforms also controlled by the switch that you need to use wisely, not to block some of your heroes. Based on the situation, sometimes you need to rotate it first and only then make the explorers stand up onto the platform, while sometimes you need to do it in the opposite order. Some switches are universal, which mean that they can be activated by any explorer, but usually they have the color that allows only the explorer whose outfit matches this color to use them. And there are also the colored fields, usually creating the bridges over the halls that are active only for heroes matching their color. So you need to plan your steps ahead, not to get into unsolvable situations. And your task is to solve the combination of these elements to successfully get to the end of each section. And that's mostly it, except There is a completely different puzzle that you need to resolve to open the wall doors leading to the next level. It's based on the minigame in the form of Pie-Mania style. Here you need to rotate tiles depicting either straight or curved parts in order to make the connection between the three colored dots. They are usually not too difficult, but it still brings some refreshment to the game and makes you think differently than when you are solving the main game puzzles. And there is one more thing that you can do in each section. To search for the ancient vases in a very simple hidden object style game and to break them by clicking them. Okay, archaeologists would be probably crying over such sacrilege, wouldn't they? Some vases hide the amulets that you can collect. There are 3 amulets hidden in each level, but there is actually no motivation to collect them except for a good feeling. How about the level design and variety of environment? The levels and their stages are usually short. Each stage usually fits on one screen. Although there are not so many game elements, just various platforms, switches and lifts most of the time, they are combined in a good way to create quite complex puzzles that do not repeat too often. The environment, on the other hand, is not too variable though. The game is situated in the icy land, so most of the time you will be watching winter landscapes with the snow. What looks nice and mystical in the beginning becomes a little stereotypic after some time spent with the game. As for the game audiovisuals, the graphics is pretty simplistic, but despite low polygonal objects, it is detailed enough, mostly in shades of grey and blue, with distinctive colors of main heroes and the objects related to them like stones, switches or bridges. I like the game graphics and I think that it's fully sufficient for such a kind of game, but there is one minus relating to it that I could hardly overlook. There were the moments when the game became very laggy on my machine, and with this kind of simplistic graphics it rather indicates problems with the game optimization. This could have been done better for sure. The music consists of Nordic-style tracks with the accent to string instruments and supports the mystical game atmosphere. There are only a few sounds in the game, and again I'm complaining about the absence of the dubbing, which would definitely create a better atmosphere than just incomprehensible explorers mumbling. How about the game difficulty and controls? As for the difficulty, Path of Giants belongs among the games that are not too difficult. But do not get me wrong, it doesn't mean that the whole game is just a piece of cake. There are some levels that you can spend 15 or 20 minutes with before you understand all the mechanics there and figure them out. But if you have ever played some puzzle game, you shouldn't be stuck for long in any level. Also, the controls are very simple. You just need the mouse and control everything, meaning the explorers and the game objects in adventure style by pointing at it and clicking. The short levels along with reasonable difficulty and user-friendly controls made the game ideal for family playing with children. There is no local co-op, but it would be hardly realizable with this game concept, and you can still play the game in the count of 3, where everyone controls one explorer and plays when it's his turn. Your children will be training their logical thinking, and the side effect is that the game will also teach them the teamwork. Well done! So, is Path of Giants the game worth trying for puzzle lovers and not just for them? On the plus side, there are easy-to-learn concept, good puzzle and level design, short and no time-consuming levels, reasonable difficulty, user-friendly controls, cute graphics, nice music, and the emphasis on teamwork. The negatives are uninspiring story, low variety of environment, poor game optimization, absence of proper dubbing, and the creeping stereotype based on the simplistic game concept. Path of Giants costs €7.4 on Steam, which is not too much, but as the game is quite short, it will probably not take anyone more than 3 or 4 hours of playing to finish it. I would recommend waiting for some discount. There is no doubt that there are better and more complex puzzle games on the market, but I personally like Path of Giants thanks to its instant gameplay and suitability for family playing, and thus I'm giving it thumbs up and VideoGaming Father's index 7 out of 10. Recommended, but maybe with some discount. Thank you for spending your time by watching my video review, and if you have liked it, please do not forget about thumb up for it and subscribing to my Video Gaming Father's channel to be informed about my new video reviews. See you soon!